What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below. As usual, go get it. PayPal link is down there too. They asked me to put it up. I did. Now, the video is entitled Are We Parenting or Are We Pampering? So a few things was going on this week, and I was working, and I was seeing things, and I was seeing the interactions between parents and children in public, and then talking to my mother about something that went on, and a friend of mine, and it dawned on me that a lot of us aren't parenting, we're pampering. And first thing, so I'm out, happen to be at a school, just and it's this long line at this high school, and I'm like, okay, it's not a half day or anything. So what it is a long line of parents who went to get their kids takeout for their lunch period. So basically the kids, they have a whole bin of, this kid wanted Chick-fil-A, this kid wanted Salada, this kid wanted Taco Cabana, this kid wanted Chili's, this kid wanted this. And as I'm looking at the parents doing this, and I'm looking at the kids, and I'm looking at how the kids carry themselves and how the kids are dressed. Not saying the high school is a nice high school, and to be perfectly honest, they have a great academic program where they're some of the brightest kids in the city, right? So not gonna say these kids probably didn't earn it, right? But that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is this: when I saw how the kids were dressed and carrying themselves, I was like, everybody is, and the parents were the same way. We're pampered. Not necessarily entitled, but pampered. And it struck me like, because these are high school children who have parents that treat them, who are basically their Uber Eats when they have food in front of them. If this food's not good enough, I need to get something that I like. And I'm thinking to myself, as these kids get older, all this pampering becomes sabotage, because they're not accustomed to actually fending for themselves, or being able to, how can I say this? Being able to actually fish, in a sense of, they're always looking for a subsidy, no matter how good or bad they're doing. And this ties into what I was talking to my mother about. My mother's telling me, some of the young people, there's, some of the younger generation that she sees, that she works with, they have all of these excuses to not work, and all of these anxieties to not work, and all of these ridiculous reasons to put off work or to push work off on somebody else, because they're pampered. I went to school and I got education, so now I'm here to sit in the desk and look good. I look great, but I can't do this work. I just can't. I have a lot going on. I can't. I'm here to cash my check, but you need to do my work for me, okay? I went to school to get an education so I can sit in this desk and tell you to do my work for me. Yes, this is what I'm here for. And this is a problem, because this is the only time I've heard somebody who's my elder say this. This isn't I've heard my father talk about this, going to a job, and all the people talk all this stuff about the work they're gonna do, and then when they're made to do the work, they quit because I'm not doing all of this. And where did they get this behavior from? Their parents, because they are pampered, right? Now, it gets worse. But wait, it gets worse. Now is these situations where you're starting to see adults still unprepared for life. And why is that? Because they were pampered. I want to give my child the childhood that I never had. So these kids and these adults are very fashionable. I know how to dress real fly. I need all the gadgets. Younger people than me crack me up because they'll say something like, you don't have an iPhone. I'm like, but you can't afford an iPhone. I can afford an iPhone and I'm not buying one because I'm not paying $1,000 for a phone. I got a house. What do I need an iPhone for? Right now, like for some of y'all who don't know my channel, like a while back I got in a bad car wreck or whatever. So I never bought another car because I had 2 cars, a work car and a play car. My work car is a hoopty. So I just been driving my hoopty, right? People are like, why don't you just get another fly car? Because I'm like, no, not finna do it. Because I don't need to impress you. I got a garage because I've seen too many people, and I'm going somewhere, who have a fly car but no garage. Fly cars and no garage. So here's the thing. And I speak on that to say this because one of my good friends, he had dated some women, and I've dated women where they're in an apartment, but their parents are either paying the rent or paying half of the rent because they're so pampered as adults, or their parents are paying the cable bills, or they're sharing their parents' Netflix account or some shit or something like that, because you're not parenting these kids, you're pampering them. So what winds up happening is when people get around these people, it's a symbiotic relationship because people are so accustomed to somebody taking care of them. When they meet a brand new person who they're in the same age group as, they expect this other adult to pamper them like their parents do. If you get with me, you gotta pay for my food, you gotta pay for my lights, you gotta pay for my water, you gotta pay for my gas, you gotta pay half of my bills because you're not an adult, because nobody parented you. Like, no, you don't know how dysfunctional it is to actually call yourself an adult and you can't take care of yourself, and you expect other people to subsidize your lifestyle that you can't afford for yourself, but you feel like you're entitled to have it because your parents gave you a lifestyle, but they didn't give you a skill set. Now, I gotta get into this for a reason, because it's the parents' fault. Because I've talked to too many older parents in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who are stressed out because they pampered their children, and now their children are adults, and sometimes you can't get the kid out the house because they still live with you. Sometimes, you bought them a car to get them out of your hair because you got tired of them using your car. Now they don't pay the car note on a car because you're paying for it and you owe them a car for some odd reason. This is the type of stuff that happen, and then you're like, well, I came up the hard way. Well, that's the problem. You came up the hard way. You should be smart enough to know that if you bring your child up the easy way, they're gonna always take the easy way out. Some of you parents are pampering your children out of guilt. And what do I mean by that? I've heard too many people my age when I was younger, and as I become adults who are younger, if you do that, I might wind up going to the streets of crime, and I might, I can't survive like that. If I don't have my Rice Krispie treats, I might deal drugs or be an armed robber. But your parents be like, I don't want my baby to be a murderer. I gotta get him Rice Krispie treats. But a real parent's like, okay, go get yourself killed. Bye. You grown. If you want to die from some Rice Krispie treats, go for it. Then it's like, oh, You gonna let me be out here making dumb decisions? Yep, you gonna pay for them. Because the pampering really is coddling young adults from consequences that they're gonna need to understand exist. See, if you don't pay your light bill, they're gonna cut it off. They're not gonna pamper you. If you don't pay your mortgage, your house is gonna get foreclosed. They're not gonna pamper you. You don't pay your rent, you're gonna get evicted. You don't pay your car note, they're gonna repo it. But we're pampering these kids. If you don't work, you don't eat. If you think you're too good to do anything, then you'll never accomplish anything. These are very simple concepts. But a lot of these parents are pampering. And then they're mad because this is my time. This is the time when I'm supposed to be me. I raised my kid. No, you didn't raise your kid. That's why your kid's still with you. You pampered your kids. You never parented your kid. Now you mad because your chickens have come back home to roost because you never made sure your kid was prepared to be an adult. And now they're 25, 26, 27, 39, still asking you for simple advice and still draining you because you pampered them their whole lives. This is why some of y'all are taking care of y'all grandkids because y'all didn't take care of y'all kids properly. So are we parenting or are we pampering? We out.